All right. Shalom, Israel, where the Israelite School, University of Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group nor any other Christian organization. All right, tonight's class is the Lashawan Qadash class. All right, tonight's class is the Lashawan Qadash class. The Lashawan Qadash class is very, very important, man. Like, we do not want to take this lightly. Everyone that's tuning in the class, make sure you check in and sign in. All right, check in and sign in. Put your name, city, and state. All right, I'd like to make sure you put your name, city, and state. Make sure I see everybody online. Everybody can hear me and see me. All right. Make sure you put your name, city, and state, biblical shot. If you guys have any questions, also put it into the live chat. All right. Make sure you put it into the live chat as well. All right. So remember, you do not want to take this lightly. It's very important to come into the Lashawan Qadash class and learn the language of our forefathers and learn the language of our ancestors. Like, this is our language. This is a part of our culture. The language that we speak, which is the Hebrew language, this was once something that we spoke before our captivity, before we were in slavery, before we became Latinos, before we became Costa Ricans and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and El Salvadorians and Cubans and Mexicans and Creek and Muskegee and Creole, not Creole, Haitian, before it became Seminole and Cherokee, Mahogany, Mohegan, Apache, Pequot, whatever the case may be. Before we became what we are now, we actually had a culture and a heritage of our own. Like, we had a language to ourselves. You understand? And that's something very, very important to understand. Like, so-called blacks and Hispanics, Native Americans, we had a culture of our own, man. And we also had a language of our own. And that's what's really important. And that's something that we have to understand. We had a language of our own. All right. And that language was the Lashawan Qadash, which was the Hebrew language. All right. It was the Hebrew language. And so remember, it's so important to learn the Hebrew language because that's what makes us a people. Like, that's what separates us from different people. Like, you're going to be able to separate people based off how they walk, how they talk, how they dress, and what they speak, and how they speak, whatever the case may be. Like, the Lord put that on the earth purposely. Like, the Lord separated the languages on the earth. And we were left with the Lashawan Qadash, which is the language that the Most High even knows. And that the Most High speaks. That's in the Bible. Like, Christ spoke Hebrew, Peter spoke Hebrew, Paul spoke Hebrew. Throughout the Bible is written in Hebrew. You understand? Like, that was the language of our forefathers and our ancestors. Like, in some cultures and some nations, if you did not know the Hebrew language, if you did not know the language of your forefathers, you understand? If you did not know the Hebrew language, right? If you didn't know the language of your forefathers, you were not even considered to be the people of your forefathers. You understand? Like, let's say if you were Chinese and you didn't know Mandarin, they would not consider you to be Chinese. If you were Filipino and you did not speak Tagalog, they would not consider you to be Filipino. Like, this is very important to hold on to the customs and the traditions and the language of our ancestors. Like, we do not want to take that lightly. So if anybody has any questions or anything like that, just let me know and put it into the live chat. Most High in Christ, I see y'all checking in. Most High in Christ, that's Tawad. If you guys have any questions too about class, Bubba Kwasha, type it in. Let's see. So tonight's class, we're going to focus on subject, object, and possessive pronouns. All right, we're going to focus on object, subject, object, and possessive pronouns. Can anybody explain to me what a subject pronoun is? Anybody know any examples of a subject pronoun? Does anybody know what a subject pronoun is? Let me turn this around. All right. Does anybody know what a subject pronoun is? Does anybody have an idea of what a subject of what a subject pronoun is? Anybody know? Put into the live chat if you know what a subject, an object, and possessive pronoun is. All right. I don't know. Anybody know what a subject pronoun is? Like, this is something very important to understand. All right. A lot of our people, because of captivity, because of slavery, because of the oppression in America, we don't really know too many things, especially when it comes to languages. You know, sometimes we know how to speak English, but sometimes we don't even know the full English language. And when learning a language, you want to really pay attention and pay very close attention to the small details. Like, this is how you build up a people. Like, this is how you help. Okay, yes, this is how you build up a people, by noticing and focusing on the small details. But when it comes to learning a language as well, you want to focus on the small things too as well. And it's the smallest details that will help us learn a language. All right. Now, small details is like what's a subject pronoun, and what's an object pronoun, and what's a possessive pronoun. Like, the goal when it comes to the Lashawan Qadash, when it comes to the Hebrew language, we're teaching our people this language because this is a part of our culture. So we're milking it. We're going to be baby stepping things like this, all right? And we want to understand the fundamentals. Like, yeah, we want to structure sentences, and we want to put sentences together and things like that, but we can't really get there quite yet. We're not able to do anything like that quite yet, all right? So we want to pay very close attention to that, all right? So we want to focus on baby stepping certain things. So we're going to focus on subject pronouns, object pronoun, possessive pronouns. So let's get the subject pronouns on the board. All right, I'm going to write it in the English and in the Hebrew. All right, but I'm going to break each subject pronoun down, each object pronoun and possessive pronoun. Object and possessive pronouns are very similar. All right, they're very similar. They're not too different from each other. Right on the board, subject pronouns. Subject pronouns. All right, subject pronouns. So when it comes to speaking a language, a subject pronoun gives you the subject of a sentence. All right, and a subject pronoun or a subject. The subject when it comes to sentence building. All right, when it comes to structuring sentences and building sentences, your subject pronouns allow you to know what the sentence is who the sentence is going to be about. All right, who the sentence is going to be about. Keep that in mind. It's who the sentence is going to be about. All right. So that's the subject. Like, for instance, you'll know the subject is about math if the subject tells you it's about math. Like, that's the subject. So the subject of a sentence is letting you know what and who the sentence is talking about. Specifically, who the sentence is talking about. So examples of subject pronouns like I or I am, or he, she, well, you, I should say, he, she, things like that. Like, these are examples, all right, we, like, these are examples of object pronouns, so like your subject pronouns, all right? All right, if you're in class too, make sure you put your name, city, and state. Do not forget to sign in and check in. All right, do not forget to sign in and check in, name, city, and state. All right, name, city, and state. Do not forget that. All right. Also, if you guys have any questions too as well, just put it to the live chat. That's no sweat too as well. All right, if you guys want to know what a word means, what a word is, all right, put it into the live chat, and I'll get to your question. All right, let's get back into the lesson. So subject pronouns. All right, subject pronouns. Something very important. This is what gives you the subject of the sentence. When we get into sentence structure, this is something that we got to look into. So when it comes to structuring sentences, this is something that we're going to have to look at. It's first the subject. The subject is going to let you know who the sentence is talking about. So like I am, he, she, you, they, right? We. Like these are all examples of subject pronouns. All right. So let's get it. So the first subject pronoun we're going to get is anya. All right. It's anya. Come on. No. So this is I or I am. So you have anya. All right. Can everybody see that on the board? Sort of. Let's see. All right. So what you have is anya. So anya is I or I am. Salaki, this is the first subject pronoun. So this is what your I will look like in the Paleo. This is what your Na will look like in the ancient or the Paleo in the Ya. All right. This is what your I will look like in the Assyrian. This is what your Na will look like in the Assyrian. And this is what your Ya will look like in the Assyrian. You put that together, that's Anya. 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 Anya, meaning I or I am. So the subject, so these are subject pronouns. Anya, meaning I or I am. This is what's going to give you the context. All right. This is what's giving you the context of what's being said, of what sentence is being structured. All right. Anya, meaning I or I am. Anya, I or I am. Anya, I or I am. So if you want to say I or I am, it means anya. This is how you would say it. All right. Anya, I or I am. All right. All right. Anya, I or I am. All right. So next we're going to get next subject pronoun. All right. So next we have is the next subject pronoun on the board. All right. This is the next subject pronoun on the board, which is atha, meaning you. All right. You is a subject pronoun in the English. This is how you would say the subject pronoun of you in the Hebrew, which is atha. All right. So this is your I, this is your tha, this is your ha, which is atha. This is your I, this is your tha, this is your ha. Atha. You put it together, atha. All right. Atha, 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 meaning you. Atha meaning you. So atha is a subject pronoun meaning you. So atha, this is the subject. This allows you to know, right, what the sentence is talking, who the sentence is talking about. Right. Remember, this is what allows you to know what is being talking about really, and also who the sentence is talking about. Like you can get so much information based off of the subject pronoun in every sentence. Like we want to keep that in mind. Once again, when the subject pronouns are very, very important when it comes to structuring sentences as well. All right. Why? Because when we get into conjugating verbs, all right, when we get into verb conjugations, when we start changing the verbs up, right? Everything is based off of the subject pronoun. You're not going to know how to conjugate a verb unless you know the subject pronoun. That's how that works. All right. So subject pronouns are very, very important. All right. Subject pronouns are very, very important. Remember, if you guys have any questions, let's put it into the live chat. You'll be too wild. Let's see. Also, like, comment, and share these videos. Like and comment and share these videos. Share them to your friends. Share them to your families. All right. Make sure you share them. Like, comment, share, subscribe to these YouTube channels, our Facebook page, Bubba Prashad. Let's see. Share. All right. So remember right here, this is the subject pronoun of tha, meaning you. All right. Remember, subject pronouns, all right, give the context of what the sentence is talking about and who the sentence is talking about. You don't want to take that lightly. Subject pronouns are very important to learn. All right. Subject pronouns are very important to learn. We need to know subject pronouns in order to structure our sentences, in order to conjugate verbs. Like your subject pronouns are very important when it comes to learning the Lashawan Qadash and learning the Hebrew. Like this is what Hebrew looks like. Like this is what our language looks like. Like this is the language our ancestors wrote and spoke. Like this right here. Like the Lord gave the opportunity of our people to come back to our heritage, to come back to the traditions that the Most High passed down to us. So this is the subject pronoun of thou, meaning you. All right. Do not forget to like, comment, and share these videos, Biblical Shop. Share them to your family so they can all learn how to speak the language of their forefathers and how to speak the language of their ancestors. Like, that's very important. All right, that's very, very important. All right, let's get it. Okay. Most High in Christ. Second in. Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ. We're gonna get the next pronoun on the board. All right. All right. We're gonna get the next subject pronoun on the board. All right. Also, don't forget to put this into your notes. You do not want to not take notes. All right. You do not want to not take notes. Put the notes in the notebook. Put your notes in a book. All right. Put them in your phone, but you do not want to not take notes. All right. You do not want to not take notes. You want to take as many notes as you can, especially when it comes to every class that you attend in the ISUPK. You want to take notes. You don't want to not take notes. You can't remember everything. You can try to remember as much as possible. Every brother and sister has their gifts, their spiritual gifts. Some brothers and sisters, they got photographic memory, and they can just remember everything that they see. They can remember everything that they hear. Maybe it's been year after year after year. They train their ears to have great memorization, great memory. All right? But in Israel, we never really had to remember certain things. That's why the Lord put a lot of things in writing, so we can remember, so we can look at it to remember. The Lord didn't say to remember just by, just out of nowhere. Like, the Lord put things into place so we can remember. So we have a place to look at certain things, to remember certain things. Like, the law was written so we can remember it and to never forget it. Like, that's how you never forget the law, because the law is written somewhere, right? Well, take that same spirit when it comes to taking notes. You don't have to remember everything that's being taught in class. You can write everything down that's being taught in class, and then you can study it, and then you will remember. Like, that's the spirit of Israel. That's why they're scribes, so we can remember the things that Christ did, so we can remember what Peter did, so we can remember what Timothy did, so we can remember what Paul did, so we can remember what Titus did. Like, that's throughout the Bible. Like, there's certain things we have to remember, right? And we had good priests or like scribes to write this down so we can remember the acts of things that were happening. You understand? Throughout our history. So take that same energy, take that same spirit, all right, and put it towards your notes when it comes to class. Take notes. You never have to remember anything, man, because you wrote it down. And then you can study it. Like that's the spirit, of Israel. Like that's the spirit of Israel to remember. All right? And this is how you remember. Write it down. So take notes and write it down. So this is the next subject pronoun, which is hawa'ah. All right, well, meaning he. He is a subject pronoun. He gives you the subject of he. He is being talked about. He is being spoken about. He may be the one talking. Whatever the case may be, he is the subject. All right, he is the subject here. So you have he, which is hawa'ah. This is your ha, your y, and your ah, and the paleo. All right, and then this is your ha, your y, and your ah, and the Assyrian. You put it together, it's hawa'ah. Hawa'ah, 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 meaning he. This is how we write it in the English, all right? In the Anagalia. Anagalia is English, all right? So if I say Anagalia, you know that it's English. So this is how we write it in the Anagalia, which is English. Hawa'ah, meaning he. Hawa'ah, meaning he, all right? In the Anagalia. That's how you would say English in Hebrew. Anagalia. Anagalia. All right, that's literally a transliteration of English. That's a transliteration of the word English, but put into the Hebrew, anagalia. All right, anagalia. Anagalia. Hawa'ah meaning he. Hawa'ah meaning he. This is how you would say the subject pronoun he. Hawa'ah. All right. Babu Kushah. Anyone in class, do not take this lightly. Know the language of your forefathers. Learn the language of your ancestors. There is no excuse for you to be an Israelite and not know how to speak and read Hebrew or write Hebrew. If you are an Israelite and you cannot speak and write, if you cannot speak and write and read Hebrew, and you are an Israelite, you are not an Israelite. I don't know what you are. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the spirit of Israel. This is also the spirit of many other nations on the earth. If you cannot speak and write and read the language of your forefathers, the language of your ancestors, you're not even considered to be those people. If you cannot speak Mandarin but you're Chinese, you're not Chinese. If you are Filipino but you can't speak Tagalog, you're not Filipino. You understand? Like it's a very serious thing to know your language. You have to know your language. You have to. No excuse. You have to know the language, the proper way your language is to be spoken. It's not with vowels in it. It's not shalom. It's not boker tov. It's none of that bull crap. The language that we spoke is the Lashawan Qadash. This is the Hebrew language with constants in it. And constants in it. I have plenty of debates with people saying that this is not the Hebrew. I shut them down before. It's not hard to shut them down, all right, because they think that they know so much, but they don't, right? Many archaeologists understood that this was the first language, one of the first languages on the earth, and a lot of archaeologists know vowels did not come until later in history, but this language has been here forever, so there's no way that there were vowels in this language. All right, there's no way. Archaeology will prove that. A lot of things will prove that. All right, but do not forget to like and subscribe. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channels and share them. Bobo Prashad. All right. All right. Do not forget, like and subscribe and comment on our videos too. Leave a comment on our videos. Comment our videos. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know, like, just comment on our videos. All right, comment on our videos. Doesn't matter what the comment is about. Try to make it about what the video is talking about, of course. But comment on our videos. All right. Comment on our videos. All right, let's get the next. Let's get the next subject pronoun. All right, here we go. So now also, there's going to be a new thing that we're going to be doing, all right? Anyone in class, if you guys have if y'all want to invest in like a small, if you guys have a dry erase board or like a small dry erase board, right? Invest in a small dry erase board because what we're going to be doing soon, all right, is we're going to practice together online how to write the Hebrew, all right, and how to write it and how to properly draw the Hebrew, all right. So right now we're using something called StreamYard, all right. It's our first time doing StreamYard, and we're streaming from 3 different places at the very same time. All right, we're streaming at 3 different places at the very same time. So we're on our Facebook page. We're streaming from both of our YouTube channels. We're also going to add other channels as well. All right, we're going to be streaming from a lot of places. And so what we want to do is we really want to go head first. All right, nose dive into learning this language. So invest in a dry erase board, like a small one. All right, a small one. See how much it costs. It may cost no more than $13. This is if you really want to learn the language. All right, and then I can add you guys into the stream. All right, I'm going to be able to add you guys into the stream so we can practice together. All right, how to write the Hebrew. All right. So of course, what you want to do is you want to be in an area that's well lit. All right. All right. Make sure you're wearing the proper clothing to class. Right. Like a dress if you're a sister and your cat is covered. All right. And if you are a brother, all right, make sure and that wants to be a trooper, you're a trooper. Make sure you're in all black. Like, see how I am? I'm in all black. All right. I'm in all black. Now I wear color sometimes too, but this is the occasion I'm in all black. All right. Just like this almost. All right. What do you need, Brother?
Look at the side face. He's playing with this. He's playing with this.
What's going on? Everybody take a seat. Everybody take a seat. Princess, put that back in the back. Go push up. All right. So this is what we have now. The next subject pronoun is haya'a. All right. The next subject pronoun is haya'a. This is yaha in the paleo. This is your ya in the paleo, and this is your ah. All right. In the paleo. This is your ha, your ya, and your ah in the Assyrian. You put that together, and then you have haya'a. You have haya'a. All right, haya'a, which is she. All right. All right. Haya'a. All right. Which is she. She is a subject pronoun. So when you have your she, right, your SHE, your she, this is what the sentence is going to be about. This is who the sentence is going to be about and what the sentence is going to be about. It's about a she. Haya'a. This is the subject. All right. Everything is going to be based off of your subject pronoun. How to conjugate a verb, all right, is based off of your subject pronoun. Right. What the sentence, who the sentence is talking about is based off of the subject pronoun. How to structure the sentence is based off of the subject pronoun. All right. So back to what I was saying before too. Invest in like a dry erase board, 13, 14 bucks. Get some markers. You know, have a well-lit place where you can come in and show me that you can actually write the language. All right. Because we're streaming from 3 different areas. We're on 3 different platforms at the very same time. All right. We're on 3 platforms at the very same time. So we're going to be using StreamYard a lot more. It's a lot specifically for sure in the Hebrew class, so brothers and sisters can participate more. Participation is very needed when it comes to learning the Hebrew language, all right? All right, so by next class, 2 classes from now, try to invest in like a dry erase board. All right, if you guys have any questions about that, you can put it into the live chat, or you can call the school as well, or whatever the case may be, so we can get more entwined into learning the language. All right, and inclined into learning the language. All right, so hayya, the subject pronoun she. Hayya, 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 which is she. All right, the subject pronoun she. Do not forget to take notes. Also, do not forget to check in and sign in. Okay. All right. Let's see. So, also, let's see. This is Yahweh Shamar Isle Rafa by Shem. And for the brothers. All right. Let's get the next one. All right, we're going to get the next pronoun, subject pronoun on the board. We're going to get the next subject pronoun on the board. All right, make sure you're taking notes. All right, let's get the next one on the board. Now, the next subject pronoun is going to be a little long. All right, it may be a little long, so bear with me. All right, what we have on the board now is Anak Nawa. All right. Also, when you're in class, make sure you put your name, city, and state. Make sure you do not forget to check in and sign in. Make sure you put your name, city, and state. Do not forget to put your name, city, and state. All right. So the next, we have a subject pronoun called Anak Nawa. All right. Anak Nawa is the next subject pronoun. Anak Nawa. All right. Anak Nawa. All right, Anak Nawa. Now this seems very long. It's a very long word. It only means we. This is how you would say we in the Lashawan Qadash. This is how you would say we in the Hebrew, which is Anak Nawa. Anak Nawa. This is your ah, this is your na, this is your cha. All right, this is your na, and this is your wa in the paleo. This is your ah, this is your na, this is your cha. All right, and this is your na, this is your wa. Let's focus on that cha right there, that cha. The way you pronounce that is like, you're almost like trying to cough up some spit, like cha, chewy, whatever the case may be. It's cha. All right, cha. All right, cha. That's exactly how you would do it. So cha. All right, so that's how you would pronounce that word. So this is your ah, your na, your cha, your na, and your wa. This is your ah, your na, your cha, your na, and your wa. You put it together, it's Anak Nawa. Anak Nawa, meaning we. So Anak Nawa. Anak Nawa, meaning we. Anak Nawa. Right? Anak Nawa. Anak Nawa. Right? That's how you would say we. That's the subject pronoun we. Anak Nawa. All right? Anak Nawa Yawatabium. Right? Anak Nawa Yawatabium. We good. All right? Anak Nawa I was shy. We hungry. All right? It's like I was hungry. We made it. We made it. We make it. All right? Not made it, but we make it. Right? Like this is how this Anak Nawa. This is the subject pronoun for we. Anak Nawa Yawatabium. We good. All right? We falling. Anak Nawa Nawapolium. Right? Anak Nawa Nawapolium. We falling. Right? We can't get up. Right? Anak Nawa Nawapolium. Right? Meaning we. Anak Nawa. We. Which means we. This is a subject pronoun. Subject pronouns are very, very important to learn in a language. Right? Subject pronouns are very, very important to learn in a language. Right? The reason why? Does anybody know the reason why they're important? Because this is how you structure sentences. Everything, when it comes to structuring a sentence, is based off of the subject pronoun that you use and based off of the subject pronoun that you say. Anak Nawa, meaning we. Anak Nawa. Don't forget to sign in and check in, name, city, and state as well. Don't forget to share and like these classes. There is no excuse. If you are a priest and prophet of the Lord, all right, and you want to, and also if you are an Israelite, there is no excuse for you to not know the language of your ancestors. If you cannot read and write and speak Hebrew, you should be in class. You should be in the Hebrew class every Friday, so you can learn how to speak the Lashawan Qadash, so you can learn how to speak the language. It's very important. There is no excuse for you to not be in class and not know how to speak Hebrew. There's no excuse for you to be an Israelite and you do not know how to speak and write and read Hebrew. That is disgraceful. All right, that's very disgraceful. I want to say that one more time. It's very disgraceful. It's very sad. All right, it's pitiful. You want to know how to speak the language of your ancestors. You want to learn how to speak and read and write the language of your ancestors, your forefathers. Like this is the same this is the language of the Lord, by the way. Like this is the language of the Most High. We want to take that into accountability too. We want to take that into account. This is the language of the Most High. Like the Most High speaks this language. It's very pitiful and sad and disgraceful if you do not know how to speak this language, which is your language. This is our language. You want to come to class to learn it. All right. You want to come to class to learn it. Please come to class and learn the language. All right. Conferences. Like this is something very, very important. You do not want to not learn the language. All right. It's okay to not know it right now. It's okay to not know the language if you're learning a language. That's not what I'm talking about, by the way. I'm not talking about for someone that's just coming into the truth, that doesn't know it. You're coming to class so you can learn it. You want to learn it. You do not want to not learn it. That's what I'm saying. You do not want to not learn the language. That's where I'm getting at, okay? It's okay for you not to know the language right now. But if you're not making any effort at all, right, then that's when it becomes a problem. You want to make an effort to learn this language, a knock knowledge. And it's not hard. It'll get, it's not hard. It takes time. Everything takes time. Everything takes practice. The Lord says to rehearse the righteous acts. It takes time and time and time and time to get something right. The Lord says, be ye perfect like your Father in heaven is perfect. It takes time to be perfect. It takes practice. It takes repetition. That's how you learn the language. You don't learn how to walk by just doing nothing. You learn how to walk by getting up and falling. You learn how to walk by getting up and falling. And then one day, you're a big boy. You're a big girl. You're walking. And no one can stop you. Not even yourself, and you run into a goddamn wall. Here you go. Right here. Here's the wall. Run right into it. A knock knock, meaning we. All right? All right? A knock knock, meaning we. All right? We'll get the next subject on the board. All right. Next we have on the board is a thumb. A thumb is the next pronoun, subject pronoun on the board, a thumb. All right, a thumb. A thumb. This is your ah, this is your tha, this is your ma. All right. In the paleo, this is your ah, this is your tha, this is your ma. In the sil, you put it together, this is your a thumb. A thumb, meaning you all. All right, a thumb. All right, a thumb, meaning you all. Meaning y'all. A thumb, meaning you all. So y'all or you all. So this is you in the plural sense. All right. This is like when you say you in the plural sense. So when you're talking to a group of people, you say like y'all or you all. Like this is what you would say because you're speaking to a lot of people. You're speaking to more than one person. But specifically, this is in the masculine tense or the position of authority tense. So when you're talking to like a group of males or a group of men or a group of mix of men and female, all right, you would use a thumb. You would use a thumb as the subject pronoun. A thumb. This is your eye, your thigh, and your mind, the paleo. This is your eye, your thigh, and your mind, the Assyrian. You put together a thumb, meaning you all or y'all. All right, you all or y'all. A thumb. All right, a thumb. Do not forget to sign in and check in. Do not forget to sign in and check in. All right, a thumb. All right, this is the subject pronoun of thumb. To you all, to y'all, you all or y'all, a thumb. All right, a thumb, a thumb. This is the subject pronoun of thumb. Do not forget to check in and sign in, like and share and comment on these videos. Bubble Kwashat. All right, please comment, leave a like, a share, so our family members and our people can learn the language of their forefathers and truly learn their language. Anyone that's coming in the class too as well, what we're going to be doing is eventually in the next 2 weeks, invest in like a small dry erase board, all right, something to write on and get some markers like Expo, all right, so we can actually write the alphabet together in the Assyrian and in the Hebrew before we start the actual lesson in class. We want to get used to doing together. We want to do this together. How to write the Assyrian and the ancient in the Hebrew. All right, the actual alphabet, so we can write it together. All right, so invest in like a dry erase board and some markers because you're going to be able to add yourself into class. If you're a sister, wear like a dress and a headscarf to cover your head. If you're a brother, make sure you have if you're in the school, headpiece. If you're a trooper or someone that wants to be a trooper in school, make sure you put on your all black, whatever the case may be. And and you can be added into the StreamYard. All right, you'll be able to be added into the StreamYard. I'll invite you by sending you the link, whatever the case may be. That's how it's done. All right. So you'll be able to attend class while I'm also teaching class at the very same time. So you'll be able to be in class while I'm in class. All right, like we'll all be in class. Just like how they're doing everything over online now, like this is a very similar thing. All right, so a thumb, you or you all. I mean, you all or y'all. All right, which is a thumb. Let's get the next subject pronoun. All I'm going to do is change the ending. I'm going to change just a few things on the board. Nothing too crazy. All right, just a little change for the next one. Just a little bit of change. So don't be discouraged. Don't get scared. All right, just a little change. All right. So what we have on the board is the next subject pronoun. All right. What we have on the board is the next subject pronoun. All right. So, everybody. Go for that. Everybody sit down. Go for that. We'll handle everything after class. All right, go ahead and sit down. What? All right, so now you have is a son on the board. A son. A son. This is the subject pronoun, all right, in the feminine tense or the subservient tense. When you're talking to like a group of women, all right, when you're talking to a group of women, or you're talking, and you're a woman and you're talking, you'll be talking most likely in the feminine tense or the subservient tense, right? You'll be talking in the feminine tense and the subservient tense in most cases, all right? It is not a penalty for a woman to speak in the masculine tense. There's nothing wrong with that, all right? That's not an issue, all right? But in this case, this is in the position of a subject pronoun. All right, this is a subject pronoun. This is being used to tell you who the sentence is about, and it's about a group of either sisters or is a group of men in a position of serving. All right, in a position of serving. This is mostly used if there's brothers. This is usually, sometimes a son can be used towards brothers, but only in the context of an angel talking to someone, or the Most High talking to someone, which will usually be through an angel, whatever the case may be. You'll find that in the Bible. You'll be wondering, oh, wait a minute. Why is the feminine tense being used to a brother? Because when the angel or when the Most High is talking to us, all right, through the angel, we are like in a subservient tense, all right, as if like a woman serves her husband. We're in that same category when it comes to serving the Lord. So he's talking to the nation of Israel as if the nation of Israel is a woman, all right, or in a position of serving. That's why it's the subservient tense or the feminine tense. All right, so this can be used in the feminine tense or subservient tense. So when you start reading the Bible and start reading the Hebrew, it'll start to kind of click. All right, it'll start to click a little more once you start reading the Bible in the Hebrew. All right, so this is once again your your thigh, but this is your na in the paleo. This is your your thigh, but this is what your na would look like. All right, in the Assyrian, and you put it together, which is a thun, a thun. So when you're saluting a group of sisters, you would say Yahweh Shema ala thun ma'ashem Yahushai. If you're only saluting one sister, you would say Yahweh Shema ala tha ba'ashem Yahushai. All right. But a thun allows you to know that there's more than one sister. So you would say Yahweh Shema ala thun ba'ashem Yahushai. All right. Then, all right. All right, just like for brothers, when we were just doing a thumb, if there's more than one brother, you would say Shalom, Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barak a thumb, right? Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barak a thumb. That a thumb is letting you know that there's more than one brother there. But if there's only one brother there, you would say Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barak a thumb. Everybody understand that? So that's how you would say that. Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barak a thumb. Right, or Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah B'Akathah. For the sisters, would be Yahweh Shema Alatha Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah, or Yahweh Shema Alathan Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right. So that's in that. So remember, all right, this is like in the subservient tense or the feminine tense. All right. Remember, it's very important to learn the language of our forefathers, of our ancestors. If you call yourself an Israelite, you are not allowed to not know how to speak Hebrew. We have to know how to speak the Hebrew. We have to know how to write the Hebrew. We have to know how to read the Hebrew. All right? A lot of people are going to, if you consider yourself to be an Israelite, a lot of people are going to question you. And if you do not know the Hebrew, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. Like, yeah, you not know Hebrew, you not know Israelite, you island. You don't even know the language. How can you make me believe, right? How can you make me believe that, you're a Hebrew or you're an Israelite? You understand? This is something very important. This is something very important to learn. There is no excuse for no one to not know how to speak the language of your forefathers. That's why we have these classes every Friday. So we can learn the language of our forefathers. So we can learn the very same language that the Most High allowed us to keep. This is something very important. You cannot be a priest and not know how to read and speak and write Hebrew. It's impossible. It's impossible for you to call yourself a priest and you cannot speak or write or read Hebrew. Like Nehemiah. I say this every class. I may have not said it this class yet, but I'm gonna say it right now. In the book of Nehemiah, Nehemiah contended with the Jews because they did not know how to speak Hebrew. Does anybody know what it means to contend? Anybody know what it means to contend? Y'all can put it into the live chat. But does anybody know what it means to contend? Contend. To contend. Anybody know what it means to contend? I'll continue what the scripture talks about by paraphrasing it. Nehemiah contended with these Jews because they did not speak the language of their forefathers. They did not speak the Hebrew language. He also pulled the hairs out of their head, right? He also pulled the hair out of their head. You understand? Right, Khan. Right. Khan, fight and argue, right, contend, right, Khan, sir. Literally, Nehemiah beat the piss out of these brothers for not knowing how to speak Hebrew. That's how important it was. And Nehemiah was a priest. All right, Nehemiah was a priest and prophet of the Lord. And when he saw Jews, his own people, not able to speak the language of their forefathers, it was straight world star. You understand? Like he gave them a world star tail whooping to make them understand this is not acceptable. This is not okay. He also whipped them too on a sidebar because of interracial marriaging as well. And this is the spirit behind why the Lord did not want us to involve ourselves by marrying these other nations of people, because it takes away from our culture. That's why the Lord said in Deuteronomy chapter 7, right? If you read Deuteronomy from 1 all the way to 5, it says they will turn your heart away, right? It is not saying that it might. It will turn your heart away. Like it will turn his or her heart away from serving me. I'm paraphrasing, but this is why the Lord said that in Deuteronomy. Right? Because the more we interact with these other nations on the earth, and the more we get comfortable with them and learning and practicing what they do, we start to lose who we are. Because we're so focused on trying to be like them, we lose who we are. Like this is the spirit behind why the Lord wants us to be separate. This is why the Lord wants us to hold on to our culture and our heritage. You understand? This is why, right here, we don't know how to do this anymore. We used to speak this fluently. You understand? Like we used to be able to speak Latin and Greek, but we also knew how to speak Hebrew fluently at one point. You understand? At one point, that's all the slaves spoke was Hebrew until they were taught how to speak English. You understand? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's very, very important. You understand? Like, that's the spirit of the Lord. This is what he wants us to learn. This is what he wants us to know. We cannot not know this. All right? We cannot not know this. We have to know this. All right? So if you are a priest, all right, and you consider yourself to be a priest and prophet of the Lord, all right, you heard it here first. It is shameful and disgraceful and pitiful if you cannot read and write and speak the Hebrew. All right? It is pitiful if you can't do it. It is pitiful. It's shameful. It's disgraceful. It's like a smack in the face to the brothers that came before us that laid down, all right, that laid their lives down so we can learn this. It's like a smack in the face. Like there were brothers that came before us, all right, that laid down the path for us to bring our culture back to our people. And we just say, nah, we good. We can't do that. It's okay for us not to be good at speaking Hebrew. All right? Some of us may not be good at reading and writing Hebrew. That's fine. Right? That's why we come to class. Does that make sense? That's why we come to class. So we can get better. You know what I'm saying? It says, be ye perfect like your Father in heaven is perfect. One day we're going to be perfect at this. And it will happen as long as we come to class. You understand? So remember, invest in trying to get invest in getting like a dry erase, a small dry erase board, and some markers, because we're going to be adding, who's coming, whoever wants to come to class, and whoever wants to be added to the stream, you're going to be able to write the alphabet as well. Okay, we're going to be able to write the alphabet down so we can practice together. We're streaming from 3 different places at the very same time, so there's no excuse for us to not be able to find this class. We're on YouTube twice. We're on Facebook. We're going to be on a lot more. We're going to be on a lot more streaming platforms. So there's no excuse. All right. These classes are here. All right. No excuse. All right. No excuse. You can find our classes. No excuse. All right. Come to class in the Hebrew. All right. There'll be no sweat. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You'll find it very fun too. All right. It's fun. It's very fun to learn your language. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I think it's very fun. All right. Let's get it. Let's get the next one on the board, or the next 2 on the board. Well, we're gonna get the next. We got 2 more. Come. All right, let's get it. All right. This is the next pronoun that we have on the board. The next subject pronoun. All right. Also, on another note, like it. That's incorrect. Like it. All right. This is the next subject pronoun on the board. On another note, too, as well. All right. It's very brotherly and sisterly to support your brothers and sisters in this truth. All right. That is how we build a community, by the way. All right. I want y'all to understand the spirit behind that too. This is how we build the nation of people. We have to be a brother and sister to each other. All right. Especially, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what we teach in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, because this is what the Bible teaches. To be a brother to your brother and a sister to your sister. All right. We want to support each other in this truth. You understand? So share, like, and comment these videos. And share and comment and like these classes. Like that's being a brother and a sister to your brother and to your sister. Support. You know what I'm saying? Support them. You know what I'm saying? Come to their classes. You understand? Like this is like you support a business, right? If you have a family member and you want to support their business, how do you support their business? You just don't support it by going, by staying in the house, do you? You know what I'm saying? You just in the crib, just chilling, and someone like, yeah, I support you. No, that's not how that works. You got to go to the restaurant and buy some food, depending on whatever business it is, buy some clothes or whatever the case may be, to support the business. You got to do some work. You know what I'm saying? You want to be active. That's being a brother. That's being a sister. That's how you support. So you want to support this truth with that very same spirit. You know what I'm saying? You got to come to class, share these videos, and comment and like these videos in classes, right? Because that's brotherly, all right? That's brotherly. That's being sisterly. That's showing real support, all right? I just want to bring that out there too as well. So don't forget to like, comment, and share these videos. Do not forget to like and comment and share these videos, all right? And, do your best. Show the love, show the support. You feel me? All right? You know what I'm saying? So that's just on the sidebar, though. That's on the sidebar. All right. Let's get back to the subject pronoun. So you got subject pronoun. This is your ha, and this is your ma. In the Paleo, this is your ha, this is your ma in the Assyrian. All right. You put it together, it's ham. All right. Y'all probably were looking at the board like, did you write ham on the board? No. Okay. In the Hebrew, there's a ah sound, and there's a constant ah sound. All right. So you would pronounce this as ham and not ham. All right, ham. That's like a real pet peeve with a lot of brothers and sisters. All right, especially if you know the Hebrew. If you're a brother and sister that knows the Hebrew, that's like a pet peeve of ours. Like to pronounce the ah as like an a, as if we're speaking English when it's not the case. So ham. This usually pronounced ham, meaning they. Ham, meaning they. All right, in the masculine or the position of authority tense. All right. So like, comment, and share these videos. Show us real support. All right. Be brotherly and sisterly to your brother and sister by liking and comment. Right. Be brotherly to the ISUPK and be sisterly to the ISUPK by liking and comment and sharing these videos in classes. Just like how you would go to your family's restaurant to support them, and you go into the actual restaurant and buy some food to support them, support the ISUPK the very same way by coming to class and liking and sharing and commenting on our classes and videos. All right, let's make it a push, man. Especially in the state of Virginia, this is very important, man. Our people need this. All right, it is unbrotherly and unsisterly for you not to do it. Okay. All right. So do your best. Do your best to be brotherly and sisterly and share and like and comment these videos in these classes. All right. So ham, which is they, in the masculine or position of authority tense. All right. In the position of authority tense. All right. Ham. All right. Ham. Okay, here we go. We're going to get the last one on the board for the subject pronouns. I'm going to get the last one on the board for the subject pronouns. We're going to make a little bit of a change, just like we did the last one. Just like the last one. All right, here we go. So what we have next is your Han. All right, Han. This is they, but in the feminine or subservient tense. All right. So this is your ha. This is your na in the Paleo. This is your ha. This is what your na will look like in the Syrian. And it's Han. meaning they in the feminine or position of authority tense. So once again, when you're reading the Hebrew, all right, and when you pick up the Bible and it was written in Hebrew, you will see this sometimes referring to either a group of sisters or to the nation of Israel. Why? Because the nation of Israel, all right, the nation of Israel can be referred in the position of authority. In the subservient tense or the feminine tense. All right. So it could be like that. So this is Han. All right, meaning they in the feminine or subservient tense. Han. All right, Han. Han, meaning they in the feminine in the subservient tense. All right. Allah. Toughen up. Toughen up. You all right? You'll be all right. So this is Han. All right, Han. They in the feminine or the subservient tense. So if you say they are doing something, right? And it's like a group of sisters, you would use Han. All right? All right. Now, if the Most High was speaking to the nation of Israel, as is written in the Bible, sometimes it'll have Han, sometimes it'll have Ham. It depends. Either way, it's not wrong because that's why there's the subservient tense. It's subservient, like in a way that is in a position of serving. You know what I'm saying? All right. If that does not confuse anyone. All right. All right. Anybody have any questions? All right. Before we move, we'll move on. Anybody have any questions? Does anybody want to know any words? Were there any words that anybody wanted to know? All right. Were there any words that anybody wanted to know before because we'll move on, of course. But I know some sisters and brothers may want to know a word or what would better fit in certain situations. Like this is something very important. There's nothing wrong with asking those questions. There are a lot of brothers and sisters that are very well advanced in Hebrew. So if you do have a question based, that could be more advanced, this is the time to ask too as well. All right. Because there are better ways to say things or do things, whatever the case may be, it's fine. We want to make sure we know this language, very, very well. All right, we want to take this as serious as possible. We want to take it as serious as if Nehemiah still walks the earth, which he probably does. All right, okay, all right. You want to take it as serious as Nehemiah walks the earth, and when he finds you and he looks at you and he sees that you're an Israelite, he's going to whip your tail for not knowing how to speak Hebrew. All right. All Nehemiah was asking for, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakatah. All Nehemiah was asking for was a Yahweh Shema Alatha Ba'ashem Yahushua. That's all Nehemiah was probably asking for. But he heard some other stuff. All right. He heard some crazy stuff. He said, what's going on here? Like, it was a problem. He was probably asking for the bare minimum. All right. But he didn't get none. They didn't know how to speak the language of their forefathers. And it was a very, it didn't end well for those brothers that did not know how to speak that language. All right. Did not end well for them. They lost some hair that day, and the rest is history. All right. You probably had some broken ribs. Like, this was the spirit of the Lord, by the way. This is the spirit of the Lord, man. Is to learn, like, this is the spirit of the Lord. We want to take this truth very serious. We don't want to take it as a joke. We don't want to take it, we don't want to take this lightly. All right. All jokes aside, though, like, for real, we don't want to take it lightly. We don't want to make a mockery of the Lord. The Lord allowed us to come back to our culture and our heritage. Is a very important thing. Some nations on this earth would die for something like this. They would risk their life for something like this. because their culture means everything. You understand? Does everybody understand where I'm coming from with that? People put their life on the line because they want to protect their heritage. You understand? Our oppressor will storm the Capitol to hold on to their heritage and not be oppressed. You understand? I want y'all to understand that. There are countries that will go to war to hold on to their heritage because they know that if they lose this war, their heritage is going to be taken away from them. All right? When I was in Esau military, way back when I was in Esau military, I was deployed in the Middle East. All right. Now I am not for these Ishmaelites, but I can understand why they're fighting because they know that America is going to change their way of life and take away their heritage. They have a culture of Islam over there, and they have certain guidelines and rules and regulations for that since hundreds of years, and they want to hold on to those traditions, whatever the case may be. It can be as small as a woman being covered up. It can be what men, those dresses that they wear over there, whatever the case may be. That's just their culture, all right? They want to continue to circle that rock over there. That's just their culture. But they're going to risk their lives and blow themselves up so they can hold on to that culture, all right? Now, of course, that's not what I'm telling any of y'all to do. Do not leave this class and say, well, Officer Yerashima said to tie a bomb to my chest and blow myself up for Christ. Not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is we want to take this serious. All right? We want to take this serious by just coming to class. We're not telling no one like those Arabs are telling their people to do, which is strap bombs to their chest, all right, and blow themselves up. That's not what we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? And there are people in those other countries that will willingly tie a bomb to their chest to hold on to the culture that was passed down from their forefathers. All right? But all we're doing is telling brothers and sisters to come to class so we can hold on to our culture, all right, and to our heritage and the traditions that the Lord passed down to us. We're not asking for much, right? We're not asking for much. We're just asking to come to class so we can learn our culture and heritage, man. It's very important. Because if we don't, this is what's killing us. And this is what's stopping us to be prosperous and successful. So with that, let's move on. You guys have anybody have any questions? Just let me know. All right. So we got the subject pronouns out the way. In next class, we're going to focus on object. All right, object pronouns. So we're going to focus on object and possessive pronouns, which is not hard. All right. Object pronouns. So they're not hard. Object and subject pronouns are not hard. All right. They're actually fairly easy. All right, they're very easy. And they're the same. All right? They're fairly easy. And they're the same. Okay. All right. You still have enough room. All right. So here's some possessive pronouns. Now, the possessive pronouns on a word, they go at the end of a word. Specifically, they go at the end of a noun. For possessive pronouns, specifically for a possessive pronoun in the Hebrew, they go after the word. Specifically a noun, and they're also attached to that noun. All right? Okay? So that's for possessive pronouns. Object pronouns are very similar. They go at the end of a word, which is usually a verb. So they go at the end of a verb, all right? And they're actually attached to that verb in the Hebrew, okay? But this is specifically on possessive pronouns. You have your ya. This is what your ya looks like, all right? And this would means my. So your ya is a my. Your ya is a my. This is what your ka looks like. Remember, because this is what your ka looks like, because your ka goes at the end in the Assyrian. This is what your ka looks like in the Assyrian, right? Because it goes at the end of the word. So this is what your ka looks like. All right. This means your. All right, your. All right, your. This is the possessive side. Your. Possessive pronouns. You need possessive pronouns. Your. Then you have wa. This is what your wa looks like, right? Which is his. Wa is his, right? Meaning this is his. Wa. Wa would be his. Then you have ha, which is hers. This is what your ha looks like, and this would be hers. So your ya is my, your ka is your wa is his, and your ha is hers. Remember, possessive and object pronouns go at the end of their words, and they're attached to their words in Hebrew. All right, it's the opposite of English. All right, in English, all right, so to speak, specifically possessive pronouns go before the noun, and they're not attached to each other. If I say my house, in Hebrew is house my. Does that make sense? In English, it's my house. Right? I would say my house, but in Hebrew, it would be written house my, but it's still saying my house. That's how it's written, and house my is put together. All right, they're not separate from each other. All right. All right. Then you have your object. Here's an object pronoun. Those were possessive pronouns. Here's an object pronoun. Here's your object pronoun. These are your object pronouns. Part of them. The very same thing. These are part of your subject. You're part of your object pronoun. It's the same as your possessive pronoun. But an object pronoun is like me. An object pronoun can also be you. Right? Right? An object pronoun is him and her. Now the reason why an object pronoun can be you, because it depends where the you is being placed. If the you starts in the beginning, that's a subject pronoun. If the you comes after a verb, it's an object pronoun. And of course, your would be a possessive pronoun. Does everybody understand that? So if the you is in front, like in the beginning of the sentence, that's a subject pronoun. All right? You that comes after a verb, that's an object pronoun. All right? And of course, a possessive pronoun, there will be an R at the end of that, which would be your. Okay? So this is what your object pronouns will look like. They're the very same as your possessive pronouns. The only difference is object pronouns come after verbs, while possessive pronouns come after nouns. So object pronouns come after verbs, possessive pronouns come after nouns. Put that into your notes. Object pronouns come after verbs, possessive pronouns come after nouns. Object pronouns come after verbs, possessive pronouns come after nouns. All right? You want to write that down in your notes. Remember, you don't have to remember by trying to memorize. All right? The spirit of Israel is to write these things down. That's the spirit of the Most High. The Lord says, all things shall be done in writing. We write everything down. All right? This is how you remember. We did not remember the law overnight. We wrote the law. All right? The law was written. We studied the law, and we remembered it because it was written down. All right? That's why Paul said the things that were written aforetime was for our learning. We would never been able to learn anything if it was not written down. All right? So write this down. All right, Babu Kusha. It would be cool of you to write this down. Object pronouns, it's like it. Object pronouns come after verbs. Possessive pronouns come after nouns. All right. And this is what your object pronouns look like. Right? They're the very same as your possessive pronouns. Of course, there's more. We're not done yet, but this is just the first half. All right. That's just the first half. All right. Make sure that's right. All right. So these are your possessive pronouns on the board. All right. These are your possessive pronouns on the board. All right. Your possessive pronouns. All right. These are your possessive pronouns. These are your possessive pronouns. So what we have on the board is nawa. All right. Nawa. This is nawa. Now remember, these possessive pronouns are going to be attached to nouns. All right, so nawa, this is your non-yawa, your nawa, which means our. So nawa meaning our, right? Meaning like this is our car, our house, our place, whatever the case may be, you would use nawa. All right, kam, meaning y'all, but in the masculine or position of authority tense. Kam. All right, calm. Meaning like this is y'all, that's y'all car, that's y'all house, that's y'all place. All right. Then you have con. It also means y'all, but in the feminine sense or in a subservient tense. Con. All right. Once again, that's y'all car, y'all place, referring to usually a group of women, or the case may be, a group of sisters, or when the Lord is talking to the nation of Israel. Then you have your ma, meaning their. That's their car, their house, their place. All right? Ma. That's in the masculine tense or the position of authority tense. Ma. Ma is there. Then you have your na. Same thing, but in the subservient tense or the feminine tense. Na, which also means there. These are all going to be attached to a noun because these are your possessive pronouns. Right? These are your possessive pronouns. These are your possessive pronouns, meaning they come after the noun. All right? They come after the noun and they're attached to the noun. All right? All right. Let's get the object pronouns. All right. Now you have the object pronouns on the board. All right. Same thing. It does not change. The only difference is object pronouns come after what? A verb. They come after a verb. That's the only main difference between object pronouns and possessive pronouns. That's literally the only difference between object pronouns and possessive pronouns. They come after. They come after the verb or the noun. Possessive pronouns come after the noun. Object pronouns come after the verb. So if you have nawa, because it's an object pronoun in this case, it would be us. Like give us, take us, Make us. You notice that I'm only using verbs, right? Make us, give us, take us. Notice that I'm using verbs, right? Because it's object pronouns. Okay? Give y'all, take y'all, whatever the case may be. Calm, con or con. Both mean y'all. One is just masculine, one's feminine. One's position of authority, one's subservient. All right? Y'all. Here we go. Now you have them. Give me your ma or na. You have your thems. Your ma is your masculine, your na is your feminine. Your ma is your position of authority, your na is your subservient. All right? And ma or na, that means them. Like take them, give them, bring them, speak them, or speak to them, whatever the case may be. Them. All right? Them. This is what you would use in cases. All right? Meaning them. All right? It comes after a verb. It comes after a verb. It comes after a verb. All right? This is the language of our forefathers. Right? This is the language of our ancestors. We need to take it serious. We want to learn this. There's no excuse to be a priest or an Israelite, period, and not know how to speak the language. You want to learn the language just as much as you want to learn the law, just as much as you want to learn the Bible. They all coexist together. Actually, I may have not made this point. It's harder to know the Bible if you don't know the Hebrew. Remember, the Bible was written in Hebrew before it was written in English. If you want to know the Bible, you want to actually know the Hebrew. You want to know the original language that is written in. Because it also gives you a better understanding of what the scripture is saying at times too. Because these words being implemented mean something. They have definitions to them, especially in the Hebrew. It will help you understand the context of what's being said too. You know, us Israelites, we know context is everything. Even when we speak our language, context is everything, or you're not going to understand us. That's why we use our hands and things like that and move around and point and think, because it's context. All right, it's context. All right. So with that being said, that's the class. All right. All right. With that being said, I'm gonna say Amadiu, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courage salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Amadu Shabbat, Amadu, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Bakatham, Yahya Mata, Sarla Agwafian, and we turn and face the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courteous salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amadu Shabbat, Amadu, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'ashim Yahushua. Yahya Mata. With that, class dismissed.